Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary folks. This is Brandon Scott Pilcher. Today I'm going to show you how to edit the skin tone of a subject in an image using the program Affinity Photo. Now, to begin with, you might not have heard of Affinity Photo. It's basically another corporation's version of Photoshop. It basically does most of the same stuff as Photoshop, but the nice thing about Affinity Photo, which you can, is that it's a one-time purchase. You don't have to subscribe to anything. You don't have to pay a subscription fee every month like you do with Adobe products. So that's a big reason why I switched from Photoshop to Affinity Photo. You can. It's a one-time. Again, it's a one-time pro. It's a one-time purchase. It is fairly expensive. It costs about $70 US to get your own copy. But once you got a copy of Affinity Photo, you don't have to pay any more, which I think is really nice. I really wish Adobe had stuck with that same model so that we wouldn't have to, pay subscription fees. But you know how capitalistic industries like Adobe are—they're just greedy. Anyway, like I said, what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to edit the skin tone of a subject. The reason I made this tutorial was because it's something I have a lot of experience with, and a friend of mine on Steam, the Steam gaming platform, asked me how I was able to do it, and so I'm going to show you a little tutorial. Now we're going to begin by picking an artwork by David Cherry for the old game Age of Mythology. This is not the recent retold remaster of Age of Mythology. This is the old version from 2002, I think, or I have to check, but it's early 2000s, and this is basically the image of the Egyptian goddess Isis. Now, even though a lot of you might like how she looks, I personally think she's way too pale skinned for a Northeast African goddess. And so what we're going to do is change her skin tone. Now, to give you an idea what kind of skin tone we want to approximate, I have another folder of skin tones, and they basically show a folder which basically shows references for skin tones, and we're going to change her to the skin tone of these chocolate brown skin tone of these two dudes from Luxor and Upper Egypt. I don't know if they're ethnically Egyptian or something else, but they're basically supposedly pretty typical of the population around Luxor and southern Egypt. They haven't been mixed as with Arabs and other people since they haven't been as mixed with Arabs, Greeks, or other foreigners who came to Egypt during the empire's waning days. So I kind of think they're probably closer to the ancient Egyptians than anyone else. Not necessarily the same, but probably closer. So that's the kind of skin tone we want to approximate for Isis. Now, the first thing you want to do is, create using. You need to follow on my mouse list. You basically create an adjustment layer. Adjustment layers are layers that let you change things in a picture, and basically, it's kind of like it's actually the same as in Photoshop. And you need to do levels. Levels are what make a picture lighter or darker. Black level will show you how to make something darker. Changing the black level like this make it darker, and changing the white level makes it brighter. But you probably noticed right now as I'm adjusting the levels, it's changing the whole picture, which we don't want. We just want to change the skin tone. So that's where layer masks come in. Now, mask layers are basically they kind of a bit like a selection tool. You get a paint. If you paint something white, it kind of, now the layer mask, what we want to do with the layer mask, we want to make this darker. But but the thing is, we don't want it all to be dark. We just want part of the picture to be darker. So basically what we do is, now in a layer mask, unlike a regular picture, when you have the layer mask selected, white basically is painting something black in a layer mask is erasing it, whereas painting something white is kind of adding to it. So to get you an idea, and so we're going to paint the layer mask all black and then paint it all white. You must make sure you have the layer mask selected within this layer in order to see the changes. So what we're going to do is paint her darker right now. We have white selected now, and so as our color. You can use a number of brushes. I'm just making sure that this has force pressure. There are a number of brushes in Affinity Photo, much like Photoshop, but we're kind of choosing the Oh, this isn't showing for some reason. Oh, I got black selected. Sorry, my bad. So we're basically darkening her as we go. I think she's still a little pale, but you can also change. Uh, just trying to make sure I have the bright brush. The brushes, I want to make sure I have a good brush for this. I want something a bit. Well, yeah, that's better. That's a better brush. Sorry, I'm planning to. Damn it, this is still hardness. I'm going to change the hardness a little bit so it's not so. I mean, there's nothing wrong with. Okay, sorry. So we're going to paint her darker. I might darker. I don't know if I want to touch the hair. Maybe make it that darker too, just to make it because it is kind of bright now. So yeah. Okay, make her darker. Yeah. So yeah, I might adjust this later to. Yeah. Actually, I still think she's a little light. I'll make it a little darker, maybe like this. Um, yeah, that's better. We don't want her too dark, like a Cushite, but we do want her to be pretty dark. Again, like I don't know why the heck is this? It's not okay. Sorry, I'm sorry. This is yeah. I'm kind of not working with a script right now, which is why my dialogue is kind of a little rambly, maybe. But now this is which I'm not really fully. I don't really give these courses professionally, so. Maybe I need to erase a bit. Maybe this is a little. Nah. Oops, that's a mistake. Okay. I don't like this brush. It's not painting at full opacity for some reason, so I might change the brush back to what I had earlier, pen. So, and then let's get back to that. Oh, damn it. I painted with white. Damn it. This is better. Sorry, sorry, this sounds a little incompetent. Actually, I don't think I think the hair I could probably leave a little. Maybe the hair is still supposed to be raven black. Don't have to darken it as much, but I'm so sorry. But yeah, this is better. Damn it. Sorry. Yeah, I'm kind of clumsy. These tools. I shouldn't be so clumsy, but I am. So anyway, we are here. It's going to be. I probably should speed this up a bit. Okay, trying to remember what hotkey I have for pausing recording. Yeah, I think it's. I actually I don't need to. I think I'll speed up the rest. I'll just. No, actually, I might talk while I'm doing this recording just to make it a bit more interesting, so that you're doing more than just watching me, paint this. I really like, just say our new complexion is quite attractive. I mean, I don't want to sound fetishistic, but I like darker skin tones on girls. I'll be honest about that. So, although most people who already know me probably knew that about me already. So, anyway. So yeah, I'm trying to think of something to talk about while I'm painting this. Maybe I'll add background music in a video editor while I'm doing this. So again, just to make this a bit less boring. So I think there's something to talk about. Yeah, ISIS is definitely. By the way, I don't mean any disrespect to David Cherry, the artist of the original picture. He did what he was basically commissioned to do. I think he did a good job with the picture overall. He just was told to draw. He was just commissioned to draw something too pale, so that's not really his fault. I mean, if he does take offense, I'm sorry, but I'm doing this in the interest of what I consider to be historical accuracy. Of course, Egyptian gods. There is a tradition saying the Egyptians believed that their gods had golden flesh with blue hair of less pislo-zuli, which is blue. So they may not necessarily have a natural human skin tone, but this particular portrayal of Isis is supposed to have a natural human skin tone. So that's kind of what I'm going with when we coloring her. Damn, I really did pick the wrong brush for this one. I think let's see how this brush does. That's better. That's much better. Anyway, we're almost done. I have to say, I really do like how see-through her garment is. It really is attractively see-through, I'll have to say that. So, yeah, I think we're getting close to done here. Just need a few more spaces. Sorry, we're almost done. Actually, the garment, I mean, it's supposed to be see-through. I might have yeah, she looks a lot better here. Let's see, let's get a better view. I might make I want to see if I can make this this particular area, not quite as dark as the rest. This particular skirt area, not quite as dark as the rest. Just to, oh, damn it. This particular skirt. Maybe, I want to see if a gray skin tone will make it half opaque. Coloring the layer mask gray here would make it opaque. I think I'll do darker gray. Then, we're going to erase the parts that, just to make her, skirt a little more. This is basically finishing touches stage. Yeah, dun. I'd say we are pretty close to being done. There, she is. Maybe edit the space of the hair a bit. You know, the hair could be a little less bright. Not, it doesn't have to be as dark as the skin in terms of layer mask, but I could edit the hair as well, make it maybe a little more black and less blue. Let's see. It is kind of neat how gray is kind of, kind of applied by the medium past. That is kind of neat. So. Anyway, let's see if we need. That's kind of layer. Well, let's tweak the levels adjustment a bit to make her. That's good. Oh, there's an area of her lips I forgot to get. Lips I forgot to paint. This one adds the finishing touches here. So anyway, she should be pretty much done. I have to say she looks quite lovely with a proper skin tone, so I think I'm gonna call it a day. So that's basically how you could change the subject's skin tone in Affinity Photo. I think you can apply similar tricks in Photoshop if you know how to use that program. So with that being said, I think we're pretty much done here. Nice talking to you. Have a great day, and I'll see you later.